Try to find the sunny side of life.
Hi, I'm Harry Marks, and this is Let's All Go to the Lobby, your introduction to the film you're about to watch. Up first in our tribute to Hitchcock is my personal favorite of his films, Rope. Rope was Hitchcock's first color film, released in 1948. The film's existence is due in large part to a conversation between Hitchcock and a friend of his, Sidney Bernstein. The two owned a production company called Transatlantic Pictures. Bernstein himself was a bit of a theater tycoon, owning a number of playhouses and auditoriums in London. While Hitchcock was in town on a visit, he suggested to his friend that they film some of the plays being staged in his theaters, so the director could study them later. And one of those first shows he mentioned was a 1929 play called Rope's End by Patrick Hamilton. It was meant to be performed in 1.5 hours, in real time, and Hitchcock wanted to translate it to film. The play was loosely based on the very real case of Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb, who had kidnapped and unalived a 14-year-old boy named Bobby Franks in 1924 Chicago. But films are not stage productions, and in order to secure funding, he had to secure a name to headline the picture. So Hitchcock turned to his trusted collaborator, Jimmy Stewart, to play the role of the murderer's old professor, Rupert Cadell. The other parts were mostly filled in by seasoned stage actors like Dall and Cedric Hardwicke. This led to the film's theatrical quality and makes the audience feel as though they're watching a play rather than a motion picture. As does Hitchcock's direction. Rather than film Rope using hundreds of shots and takes, the whole movie was shot in 10 takes. At their shortest, they were 4.5 minutes long. The longest take ran just over 10 minutes. All the cuts are hidden by close-up objects or people blocking the screen, and the final result is a film that's as close to real time as possible. As you can imagine, this was exhausting for the actors, who had to maneuver around the set and recite their lines without any mistakes to avoid having to restart a scene. The other way Hitchcock gave Rope its stage-like feel was with its set. Except for the opening scene, the whole movie was shot on one set with an elaborate painted curtain, or cyclorama, positioned outside the windows for the sky. In front of it was a scale model of the New York City skyline, including the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building, along with other various apartments and skyscrapers. The buildings were wired with lights and several of the chimneys blew smoke, while the cotton-like clouds drifted as the film went on. It was the largest cyclorama ever used on screen and helped give the set its organic feel. Rope is widely considered to be one of Hitchcock's most controversial films and caused quite a stir upon its release. For one, the relationship between the two main characters, Brandon and Philip, is heavily implied to be more than just a friendship, but censors would not allow a same-sex couple on screen, especially while the Hays Code was still being enforced. Certain towns in Massachusetts, Washington, Georgia, Tennessee, and Iowa refused to allow it to be shown at all, which didn't help its performance at the box office either. While some reviewers recognized what Hitchcock was trying to achieve with what he called his experiment, others were not so forgiving. Even its star, Jimmy Stewart, didn't much care for it, saying, quote, "It was worth trying. Nobody but Hitch would have tried it, but it really didn't work." But today's audiences disagree. It did work, and Rope is finally recognized for the tour de force it is. Starring Jimmy Stewart, John Dall, Farley Granger, Joan Chandler, and Cedric Hardwicke, from Warner Brothers Pictures, here's Alfred Hitchcock's tale of psychological suspense, 1948's Rope.